So, welcome back. Now we're going to talk a little bit to Courtney
McKinley.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. With the King's Militia. And, it's awesome that you're here and kind of, supporting the VSO, the Warriors Refuge. I keep messing it up. It's, it is what it is. But glad that you're able to come and kind of talk to us a little bit. Can you share your veteran status?
I am a veteran. Yes.
What branch?
I was in the Army.
Who?
Yeah.
How long?
I was in for 2 years, and I was medically discharged.
Yeah.
They like to break us and send us home.
Yeah. Well, you pointed at me.
Because yeah. TDIs. He uses that excuse. He couldn't hang. No, he actually hung for 10 years. He's a 10-year Army vet.
My battle buddy over there was in with me, and she did 3 tours.
Oh.
So I kind of acted as home support and sent care packages regularly. Good. So, and she came down from Moore, Oklahoma to join us here for Vet Fest. So I'll have to get her over here later.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's awesome. That's one of the greatest things about veterans. I feel that there's always that support structure that, for me, with these guys, if they ask for anything, I'll drop everything, just go to their whatever they need.
Absolutely.
Time or making sure that they didn't drink too many.
Yes.
But we don't do those things.
We're professionals.
Yes. At least I claim to be a professional drinker.
We're professional at something.
Yeah, I can't hold it very long because I start, 2 and I'm dancing on tables. But that's what happens when you get old and stop drinking as much.
Right.
I was expecting a comment from the peanut gallery about the oldness. I set him up.
Right. He handed it to you.
I know. So tell us a little bit about the King's Militia and how that came about and what it does.
Well, it started in 2012. It was just my son and I, and we actually had nowhere to go for Thanksgiving. And the people we were supposed to go spend time with kind of stood us up. They weren't there when we got there. And so we got home and we were like, what are we going to do? And so I stress cleaned. I stress cleaned out the linen closet, realized we had blankets and sheets for beds. We didn't even have that size. So we made big garbage bags full of blankets, and we went to Houston for Thanksgiving morning, right after the parade. And we caught all the homeless people on their way to the soup kitchens, and we were just giving them blankets. And we asked the last couple of them, hey, if we come back next year, what would y'all want? Food was pretty much what they said. And so the next year we added with the blankets. They also had mentioned that Snuggies, they really liked the Snuggies because they could wear them while they transported their stuff instead of having something else they had to carry. So we did Snuggies the next year with pumpkin pies. My son can taste the difference in a canned pumpkin and a real pumpkin, so he insisted we did real pumpkin pies.
I just want you to know that I'm with you on that. Pumpkin out of a can does not pumpkin make. You can taste the metal, you can taste the preservatives. Yes. I'm all about the homemade pumpkin cutting.
Our homeless guys and gals get real pumpkin.
That's awesome.
So yeah, we started with the pumpkin pies and more blankets, and we did that for a couple of years. And my astute child over here decided that, well, what happens when their blankets get wet? I said, well, then they have to wait to, they have to wait for it to dry to get warm, I guess. And so he was like, well, what if we added a poncho? And so we were like, okay, we'll do ponchos and blankets and pies. That'll be cool. Yeah. And then as that year kind of progressed, he's like, well, Mom, this is a lot for them to carry. And it just then it was a backpack and a poncho and a blanket and a pie. And then it was like, well, we have this whole backpack. We could fill it with stuff. And so then it was toiletries, first aid kit, some clothing, MRE, cards, matches, and it just kind of like was turned into a survival pack to help the homeless get through the winter. And we always went on Thanksgiving because that's when it started for us. But then also we run into a lot less of the panhandlers that aren't really homeless on those days. So we're able to, really get what we have to people who really need it. We did try Christmas, and there's just so many people out there that weren't. We actually got chased down by a car. He was running red lights, just trying to stay with us because he wanted whatever we were giving out. And so we kind of like, oh, okay, Christmas isn't the time for us.
Yeah, it's, I understand that there's a need, but there's also greed that happens. And it's so sad that, there's a lot of people who are so greedy that they would want to take away from those that don't have anything or can't afford it, which really sucks. Do you target veterans more than, or do you just blanket?
It's hard to discern when they're on the streets between a veteran and just someone who's homeless. So we put in the backpacks the information that they need to get off the streets if they are a veteran. Like with the Warrior Refuge, we got their pamphlets in there. And, we try to get with other organizations to try to help them get help. And that's really because sometimes there's so many of them that come running towards you. Or like, oh, what do you have? That it's, you don't have the opportunity to have that conversation. But then when you get these smaller groups where there's like 3 or 4 of them and you go up with the backpacks, you can actually ask them. And that's what I prefer, just because I love to talk to people. Right. I'm like, that's our homeless family. We hang out with them on Thanksgiving. And so I just I want to know your name. Like, talk to me. I had somebody tell me their name was Skittles. I don't care what you want me to call you. I just, awesome. Let's talk.
It's really funny. The Red Hot Chili Peppers back in the day, I'm kind of dating myself, but it happens. Flea was actually one of my favorite drummers, like, ever, right? And for the longest time, where people would be like, so what's your name? Then I grew out of it because I kind of grew out. But so if somebody wants to find you, how do they find you?
So we have the King's Militia on Facebook. That's been our main source because, again, it started with just me and my son, and it has just grown to friends and family who wanted to join us. And so we officially got our nonprofit last year.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And so it is continuing to grow. And that's really exciting because I never expected it to continue like this. So we are actually going to one of my other battle buddies' houses after Thanksgiving in Dallas. And she does media. And so she's going to help us get a website together.
Fantastic.
So I will keep you posted on that. But
yeah.
Most of our stuff goes through the King's Militia on Facebook.
That's awesome.
That's really good. And if somebody wants to volunteer, what are some of your needs?
So we always need people with trucks that want to go out Thanksgiving morning. That's a hard time for people because they got friends and family they're going to go see. And so that's usually, we got another donation. That's usually where we kind of struggle to find people because ideally we want a driver, a navigator, and then we put our youngins in the back of the truck, like inside the doors with the doors locked and windows down. And they're the ones who hand out the pies. And then we have 3 people in the back of the truck. And we want like a spotter, someone who's going to stay in the back of the truck and keep eyes on the 2 individuals who might have to jump out and hand out backpacks just for safety. Because we've been in some groups where it's like, don't get out of the truck. If it's hordes of people, you stay up top, you don't get out of the truck. Because there are some areas that are maybe a little bit more dangerous than others, but for the most part, they're really friendly. They're just grateful for everything that you're doing. And so we really need people who are ready to go out with us. Collecting items, man, backpacks. Your kids get a new backpack every year. Don't throw the old one away. Pass it this way.
That's awesome. Yeah. So that's great. So if you have backpacks or you have non-canned pumpkin pies.
So the pie pumpkins, yes. You use them for decoration. Send them when you're done.
Exactly. That's awesome. Again, Courtney, it's awesome. Thank you so much for taking the time to come and chat with us and kind of tell us a little bit about your service, and your how you continue to serve your community.
We have big things coming for this year. We're working with a dog trainer to help her be able to afford to donate a dog to a veteran with PTSD.
That's
awesome. So she has the dogs and the training, and we're going to help with the food and the vet care this year. So that's our goal for this year.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Again, thank you so much.
Yes.
And if you guys need to find her, she's at the King's Militia on Facebook, and you'll be able to find her contact information down below.
Thanks
again.
Yes, it was nice meeting y'all.
Pleasure meeting you.